Hey everyone, it's Rachel here with Scientifically Engineered. It's been a while since I've made a long form YouTube video, and I had a few new inks here from Ferris Press, and I thought, all right, let's just get back into it, I guess. So I decided today we could do a fairly short ink video where I just kind of showcase 3 of these new inks from Ferris Press. I'm running very low, as you can see, on my favorite paper to do swatches on, which is Cosmo Air Light paper. This is from Odyssey Notebooks. This has been discontinued for years now. And so I'm trying to use up every single last square inch of this notebook. I have another one, but this is prime real estate. So, that's why we're upside down in every which way in this notebook. But that's the paper I'm using, and then people always ask, of course, what is the pen that I'm using? The nib holder here is from River City Pen Co. I don't remember what this resin pour was called, but he has a lot of pens, nib holders, I should say, over there at River City Pen Co. in a lot of different fun colors. The actual nib on here is not, it doesn't look like it's my normal browse. It's kind of hard for it to zoom in. But what I always use is some kind of an ornament nib or a round nib. Speedball has them, Browse has them, and then this is random. I actually don't even know where this is from. They're all pretty similar. When I repurchase them, I always go with Browse if I'm gonna make a choice. They all are a little finicky to start. There is a learning curve. You can see here the tines. Those don't always come aligned, and it's a very thin piece of metal here, so it's hard to tune them when they come not aligned. But after that initial learning curve, they are so much fun. So they're not super expensive. You could get like a pack of 3 for a couple bucks. But that is the pen that I use. So we'll go ahead and get started. These are new from Ferris Press. We're going to start with, I don't want to start with that one. Actually, maybe we should. This one here is a yellow ink that I must have just sat in water because the sticker is messed up. So I must have had this in water and not realized it. So maybe I need to look at things on my desk a little bit. But the color here is Sunforged Solace. And it's a mustardy yellow, and you can see in here we've got shimmer galore. All 3 of these inks are shimmering inks, which are even more fun when you have a dip nib, in my opinion. And then I got a bowl of water over here. So we'll start with this one. I personally am a big fan of mustardy yellows. Are we gonna focus? I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but they are in fact my cup of tea. So mustardy yellow, and once all these dry, I will give you a good look at the shimmer they've got going on, because they certainly shimmer. So like I said, this one here is Sunforged Solace. I'm gonna take this bracelet off. I think we're messing with things. Okay. And you can see in these videos, the videos I post on Instagram and TikTok are sped up a little bit because people have short attention spans. So they're sped up about 2 times speed usually, maybe a little more or less. But this is about the speed that I write when I write with this nib. You do have to be cautious to write at the correct angle. Everybody who uses fountain pens knows there's kind of a sweet spot angle, but that's even more important with these dip nibs. You cannot write at a high 90-degree angle, and you cannot write at too low of an angle. The nib simply won't work. So it's a very, very specific angle where this flat part of the pen, you're not going to be able to see it, has to be perfectly parallel with the paper. But you get used to it. It's not anything too difficult. The next ink I'm going to do here, this is probably my favorite one of the three. Hard to see. This is Dawn of Passage. This is a kind of a turquoisey teal blue. And again, with a ton of shimmer. It actually goes perfect with this pen. Unintentional, but look at that. This one I'm going to shake a lot. I know a lot of people don't like to shake their inks. They more roll them on the table because, as you can see, maybe you can't, it'll cause bubbles in the bottle, and if you're going to put that straight into a regular fountain pen with a reservoir, you'll get bubbles in there, which is not the end of the world. Nothing, it's not a big deal, but you just get less ink. I don't care about that here, obviously, because I'm just filling this tiny reservoir, so I don't like to wait. I shake them. So like I said, this is a very pretty tealy, turquoisey, I don't know which one you would call it, ink with blue shimmer. This is Dawn of Passage, and it really does work perfect with this nib holder. It matches perfectly. Of these three, the one that I'm most likely to put into a regular pen, like an actual fountain pen, is this one. I like that it has depth to it. It has a lot of shimmer, but not so much that it would annoy me. And it's not a dark ink by any means, but it's dark enough that it would go well. Like, even if you had a dry nib, it would show up just fine. And I'm just partial to that kind of a blue color. It's very pretty. All right, this last one, I don't remember the name of, so hopefully I didn't mess up. Oh, I didn't. Perfect. So this is the Copperleaf Guild. And this, if I remember, I haven't inked with this one in a little bit. But this, I believe, is kind of a darker green. And there is definitely, well, I got rid of it all, but maybe a copper shimmer in there, which I guess would make sense with the name, wouldn't it? All right, so each time what I'm doing is I'm dipping my nib in a bowl of water and then drying it off. You could dry it off with a regular towel or a paper towel. For these where I'm going in between two colors so quickly, I use a paper towel because you could utilize a little bit more capillary action to actually draw all the water out of the nib. But if I'm not going to be writing in such quick succession, I use just a regular kitchen towel so that I don't have to waste paper towels. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to do today, and as you can see, it's a very dark, moody, bluish, grayish, a little green in there. The shimmer on this one is less so than Dawn of Passage, and this is a long name, so we'll see if it fits on one, if I got to break to the next line. This one is definitely moody. I know I already said that, but it reminds me of a rainy day, or I don't know, if I lived in a castle, maybe I'd use an ink like this. This is probably, I like the ink, but it's probably my least favorite of the three, just because when I use fountain pens, if it's going to be a super dark color like this, it's just not really my vibe. I'd rather use a ballpoint. But as I'm writing with it, hopefully this is the way you spell guild. It's harder than it looks on camera. I am seeing a little bit more shading here now that I use the dip pen with it. And I'll show you right now as they're drying. This one definitely does have shimmer. All three of them do. People always ask me also, like, how I don't get dirty when I do this. I do. Like, all three inks are on my hand. So, don't ask me how to do so cleanly because I don't. Now, if I'll turn the page kind of at a 45-degree angle, you can see here the Sunforged Solace has kind of a, I would almost call this pink. It's reading both on camera and in my eyes as kind of a pinkish glitter on that mustardy yellow green. Dawn of Passage is just so much fun. I actually really, really like this ink. Every single time I write with it, I think I like it more. A nice turquoisey teal with blue shimmer, and you'll actually kind of be able to see here. It has red sheen. It's hard for you to tell, but you can tell where the ink, where dark parts of the ink, so where there was a lot of ink and it meets one of these lighter colors. Let's see, maybe if I zoom, you'll be able to see it. You can see here and along here that purpley red sheen. And if you know me, you know I love sheen. So that one is by far my favorite. And then the last one down here, you can see it when the sunlight hits it. There is that coppery colored glitter or shimmer alongside this dark, I'd say kind of a green gray. Not grayish, but green and gray color. Very moody, very Tennessee mountain range-esque. And it's a nice color. By far, Dawn of Passage is my favorite. Sunforged Solace, I think, is unique. It's probably the most unique out of these. I mean, we get a lot of colors like this. This reminds me maybe of like an Emerald of Chivor. And there's a lot of moody green grays, blue grays. In fact, Ferris Press has quite a few of these, but this more yellowy green. I'd say in person, this reads slightly more green than I think it picks up on people's cameras. There's definitely that kind of goldish green tinge to the color, which again, I like. I think this is unique. Not a lot of companies have this color out, and I'm all for the more unique inks, the better. Now, Dawn of Passage, I'm going to come back to this one because, again, it is just my favorite. You can really start to see the sheening on the where the ink had pooled up and had a lot of time to dry. That'll look different on all different types of paper. Actually, all aspects of the ink will look different on different papers. So this, again, like I said, is Cosmo Air Light paper. If you were to put this on either original old Tomoe River or the new Sanzen paper, it's going to look different. If you put it in a Leuchtturm or a Midori, they'll all look a little different. That's kind of the beauty and the fun of fountain pens. But this sheen, I think you would probably see at least on the old Tomoe River paper, and I think you'd also see it on a Leuchtturm. I'm not quite sure if you'd see it on Midori or on the Sanzen, but yeah. So those are just 3 new inks from Ferris Press. They do send me these. They don't pay me anything, but they do send them to me to show or review. So I did not pay for these, to be transparent. I do have a discount code. I'll tell it to you, but often the site has pretty good deals. So if you don't use my code, don't worry about it. I actually don't really check it. I don't know that it's made any money in the last like 3 years. But if you want 10% off and there's nothing going on the site, my code is all capital letters JA-SE, and it's usually 10% off. Sometimes I think it bumps to 15. So if there's nothing else, no other sales going on, they have sales pretty frequently. But if there's nothing else going on, you could certainly use that for 10% off. And I do get a kickback, but again, I'm not quite sure what it is. But I just appreciate you guys being here and watching. And yeah, if there's any inks from any brand, it doesn't have to be Ferris Press, that you are interested in seeing in this kind of a format with the round ornament nib in a longer form video, let me know. I can get a hold of most inks. I live in the United States, so if it's an ink that you can't get in the United States, I'll have a hard time getting that, but for the most part, I can access or resource most inks, or at least a sample of them. So if there's something you're really looking to see, let me know, and I'll see if I can get a hold of it and make you a video. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will be starting to post on YouTube a little bit more frequently now. It's probably been, I don't even know, 2 years, maybe longer, since I've posted on YouTube. But getting back into the hobby and pulling out all my ink bottles. So looking forward to it. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully it won't be 2 years. Hopefully it'll be something like 2 days. So thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.